Tonight at 5, how a federal grant could help health officials' efforts to prevent suicide across the state.
Plus, an immigration battle is now fueling a humanitarian crisis as Republican leaders from 2 states continue to send migrants to the Northeast.
And more troubling text messages for Brett Favre, the latest on his alleged link to a welfare scandal involving the former governor of Mississippi. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. We are learning more details about contract negotiations between UW health officials, nurses, and union leaders that ultimately helped avoid a nurses' strike this week.
You'll remember an agreement was reached after a weekend-long meeting at the governor's residence. Nurses then held a rally on Tuesday celebrating that groundbreaking agreement.
And inside the room where it happened, 2 UW nurses are now describing those sometimes tense and always long negotiations that happened over the weekend.
Our Naomi Coles has the story.
Did the governor provide snacks?
He provided me a Diet Coke.
UW nurses have been celebrating since Sunday what went down last weekend to avoid a 3-day strike this week. A deal struck here inside the governor's mansion.
It was exhausting. Some points we were around the table, but we would caucus, and it was like that for almost the whole night. Sunday, our last day, there was much more sitting around a table, hashing things out.
But 2 leaders acknowledged to me today not everyone was or even is on board with the deal struck. That included Sherry Signer, who was one of the first 4 or 5 founders of the movement.
Initial reactions, I was not overly happy on the initial reaction, but that's also because I didn't fully understand everything, what everything meant.
There was a lot of confusion, and I think there still is. I think people expected us to come out with complete union recognition, more money, just immediate changes.
The visuals in Monday's press conference of UW Health CEO Dr. Alan Kaplan appearing alongside the nurse leadership that he announced many times he wouldn't negotiate with, it's all still a bit surreal.
It was pretty tense. I mean, we had to have a very good game face.
What was it like to follow all of those announcements he put out and then all of a sudden be sitting across the table from him?
It's exciting, and we're really happy that we have gotten our seat at the table.
In Madison for News 3 Now, I'm Naomi Coles.
Naomi will have much more on the inside details of the negotiations, what the nurses gave up to get what they got, and the legal details of how it's supposed to play out. All of that is in her longer conversation with the nurses, which airs this Sunday morning on For the Record at 10:30. Let's get a look now at your certified most accurate forecast. Meteorologist Chris Reese is on the opposite side of the clock and on the weather patio. Chris?
Yeah, still another beautiful afternoon out here. That sticks around all night long. We've had a lot of haze in our atmosphere. Some wildfire smoke has come through. It's actually starting to thin out a little bit, so you're seeing more blue at this hour. 79 is where the temperature stands. Winds are out of the south at about 8 miles per hour. Dew points are into the low 60s, so it is a little bit muggy as you step outside. 69 as we start to move towards 9 o'clock. Temperatures all begin to fall into the 60s for your overnight hours. We'll likely bottom out right around 62 as you get ready to head out the door for tomorrow morning. One of the other things I'm tracking, by the way, is another chance for weekend rainfall, folks. This is what I'm looking at. This is Doppler Track. Most of that rain to our north and west at this point. This will not be, again, this will not be like the system that we saw last weekend, but we are going to talk about a chance to see some showers of thunderstorms as we start to move towards Friday night, Saturday, into Sunday as well. So let's enjoy the quiet while we have it, guys.
Chris, thank you. We are learning what led to the death of a man during an officer-involved shooting in Adams County. According to the Justice Department, Deputy Jacob Bean shot and killed 61-year-old Brian Childers after law enforcement got a report of a man walking on a county road with a gun last week. When Bean found Childers, he reportedly learned Childers had an active felony warrant. After Bean made contact with him, Childers allegedly pulled a gun out. Bean then shot and killed him. Law enforcement reportedly recovered a gun at the scene. It is unclear if Childers Childers fired his gun, but officials tell us no deputies were hurt in that incident. Bean was wearing a body camera at the time of the shooting, but that footage has not yet been released to the public. He is now on administrative leave.
Madison's mayor and leaders of the city's Common Council are speaking out against vandalism at a former alder's home that led to his immediate resignation. Alder Gary Halverson abruptly resigned late last night, about a week after his name appeared on a leaked list of paid members of the far-right group, the Oath Keepers. In a statement, Halverson said he is resigning for the safety of his family. He said, quote, "My wife has PTSD from past trauma, and the last week has been extremely triggering. Having unknown individuals come onto our property and vandalize it is traumatic." Common Council President Keith Furman said threats and vandalism are not productive or democratic ways of engaging public officials, and we are very disappointed that Alder Halverson's family is experiencing this. It was last week that Furman and Council Vice President J.L. Curry said they were disgusted by Halverson's involvement with the Oath Keepers.
We are still following the GoFundMe that was set up for 3 children who lost both of their parents in a murder-suicide over the weekend. Initially, this campaign had asked for $10,000 for funeral costs and care for the Ray children, but the public has gone above and beyond, collecting more than $91,000. And if you'd like to donate, look for this story on our homepage at channel3000.com. Wisconsin is one of just 6 states to get hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to prevent suicide.
It's not just a one-time check either. The CDC will send nearly $1 million to Wisconsin each year for those efforts. Our Catherine Merck spoke with those who pushed to get the grant and found out what impacts it might have. Catherine?
The Department of Health Services says suicide rates have increased 32% over the past decade. For the prevention groups I spoke with, they tell me today's grant could not come at a more critical time. The department says the federal funding will go towards several strategies and groups to reduce suicide in the state. The grant is worth more than $868,000 this year, with similar funding levels over the next 4 years. On a Zoom call with me today, Mental Health America of Wisconsin said the grant will help all people impacted by suicide.
Excited that there's an opportunity within Suicide Prevention Month and with this new grant announcement for people to be talking about what more can be done. Hopefully we can listen to people with lived experience who have been there, who have experienced suicide loss, or who have experienced suicidal thoughts themselves, and listen to them about what has worked and what isn't working.
Florida, Georgia, New York, North Dakota, and Oregon also received grants. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health and needs someone to talk to, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Hotline is available 24 hours a day. You can also use the crisis text line by texting Hopeline to 741-741.
Catherine, thank you. It is National Disability Voting Rights Week, and Madison leaders are highlighting resources to support disabled voters. Last week, the Wisconsin Elections Commission approved a new set of rules allowing voters with disabilities to get help from others when submitting absentee ballots. Today, Madison's mayor called the decision a win for a group that historically faced significant barriers when voting.
We all live lives of interdependence. We all rely on others to accomplish daily tasks. Voting should not be an exception.
Madison's Deputy Clerk Jim Verbick says there are many accommodations the city can make for voters, including absentee ballots in Braille, allowing curbside voting for those who have difficulty standing, and allowing someone to help with marking ballots.
A tentative deal has been reached with union freight train workers and management, essentially averting a strike that could have brought 30% of the nation's trains to a halt. Today, President Biden appeared with negotiators at the White House after personally calling in during the talks last night. The tentative deal gives union workers a 24% raise during the 5-year life of the contract through 2024, with back pay and bonuses. Sources within the unions gave the president credit for helping to get the deal complete without a strike.
They'll be able to continue to operate effectively as a vital piece of our economy. They're really the backbone of the economy.
Union leaders say in the coming weeks their members will review the argument, then vote to finalize it. Meanwhile, Amtrak had canceled long-distance rail services in lieu of a strike. A spokesperson now says they're working to quickly restore those train routes. The political fight between Republican leaders and the Biden administration over immigration continues.
Over the past few months, Texas and Florida governors have relocated several thousand migrants to the Northeast, with the latest arriving in Martha's Vineyard.
Well, critics are calling the move inhumane political theater. Christina Hager has more.
Asylum seekers carrying what little belongings they have arrived outside the vice president's residence in Washington to the surprise of volunteers like Carmen Carrera.
I think it's really messed up. These are human beings. They've been on the road for, I think, 3 days.
Instead of Union Station, Texas Republican Governor Greg Abbott bussed the migrants there over what he calls the Biden administration's inaction at the southern border.
There's a legal way of doing this. Republican governors interfering in that process and using migrants as political pawns is shameful.
This woman, who arrived in D.C. Thursday with her husband, says her journey from Venezuela to the U.S. took a month and a half.
To save her mother, she make a plan that come together to work to have the chance to help her mother in Venezuela.
Volunteers on Martha's Vineyard also found themselves scrambling to help about 50 migrants flown here without warning Wednesday on the order of Florida's Republican governor.
We're not a sanctuary state. What would be the best is for Biden to do his damn job and secure the border.
Some of the migrants say they were told they'd be given housing and jobs, enraging Venezuelan activists in Florida.
We demand him to stop using our pain, our suffering, and our desperation for his political gains.
Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker, a more moderate Republican, says his administration will continue to support local officials as they address an ongoing humanitarian crisis. Christina Hager, CBS News, Martha's Vineyard.
Since the spring, Republican governors in Texas and Arizona have transported several thousand migrants and asylum seekers to New York, Chicago, and Washington, D.C.
Next at 5, Chris has our latest forecast.
Plus, new details in a welfare scheme involving former Packers All-Star Brett Favre. We'll have that story after the break.
And on Wall Street in Thursday trading, U.S. stocks fall once again as the Dow loses more than 173 points. The Nasdaq down 167. The S&P 500 fell almost 45. We'll be right back.
Some ideas seem good, but aren't.
Maybe these guys will buy our house.
What could go wrong?
Like rookie home buyers who can lower or cancel offers without notice. We Buy Ugly Houses won't reduce or cancel our firm cash offers before closing. Call or click to sell quick.
Dear Senator Johnson, living on a fixed income, it's a struggle. I paid into Social Security and Medicare every paycheck. So it was a slap in the face when you voted to weaken Medicare. That would increase out-of-pocket costs. And when you wanted to let Wall Street gamble with Social Security. Senator Johnson, you look out for yourself and your fat cat donors, but have forgotten about us. S&P is responsible for the content of this ad.
I've always loved building things, not just structures and skyscrapers, but teams who make it all possible. After all, we wouldn't be where we are today without them. So we made sure that, like these buildings, their futures may also stand the test of time.
For a great deal on furniture? Well, this is it. Slumberland Furniture has savings up to 50% off list prices, or in some cases, even more, at our Labor Day sale on now. Shop our big selection of sectionals, sofas, recliners, dining, and bedrooms. And shop the deals that are up to 50% off. Mattresses, too, with some up to 50% off. Don't forget, mattress shopping is uncomplicated and fast, only at Slumberland. Come see how. Shop the huge Labor Day sale on now.
The Socialist Squad led the charge to defund the police and eliminate bail for dangerous felons. Now violent crime is surging in Wisconsin.
More people have been killed in Milwaukee this year than in any previous year.
Mandela Barnes attacked the Kenosha police and incited more violence.
The officer's deadly actions attempted to take a person's life in broad daylight. This felt like some sort of vendetta.
Mandela Barnes, dangerously liberal on crime.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
Some ideas seem good, but aren't.
Maybe she could sell her house.
What could go wrong?
Like listing your house, then dealing with all the trouble, expense, not to mention closing costs. We Buy Ugly Houses can buy your house fast for all cash as is with no hassle. Call or click to sell quick.
As one of just 6 states awarded, Wisconsin will receive a grant to be exclusively used toward the prevention of suicide. Experts say that funding comes at a critical time. We'll follow how the crucial money will be used. That's tonight at 6.
With more yard signs popping up for candidates and causes, News 3 Now's Will Keneally lets you know the do's and don'ts of posting yard signs and shows you a local group that's making an impression with their own yard signs. Tonight at 6. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Newly released text messages allegedly show former Mississippi Governor Phil Bryant worked to help former Packer quarterback Brett Favre obtain welfare funds to build a volleyball facility at the University of Southern Mississippi.
And a lawsuit now stems from an investigation into how the state spent tens of millions of dollars in federal money that was intended to go to those most in need. Ross Adams has the story.
This is the University of Southern Mississippi volleyball stadium that $5 million in welfare funds were used to build. Newly released text messages show how former Governor Phil Bryant worked with key figures now implicated in the massive welfare fraud scheme to push the proposal to get the dollars to build that stadium for Brett Favre, where the NFL Hall of Famer's daughter reportedly played the sport. According to a text message from July 2019, Governor Bryant told Nancy New, "Just left Brett Favre. Can we help him with his project? We should meet soon to see how I can make sure we keep your projects on course." New replied, "I would really appreciate having the opportunity to follow through with all the good things we're working on, especially projects like Brett's." An attorney representing New's nonprofit Mississippi Community Education Center released the new text messages Monday asking for the former governor's communications on the volleyball project as part of a civil lawsuit filed in the $77 million criminal welfare fraud scheme. New is now assisting prosecutors as part of her plea deal. In July, New alleged Bryant directed her to pay Favre more than $2 million to make speeches. Favre asked New in August 2018, "If we were to pay me, is there any way the media could find out where it came from and how much?" New replied, "No, we have never had that information publicized. I understand you may be uneasy about that, though. Let's see what happens on Monday with the conversation with some of the folks at Southern. Maybe it will click with them, hopefully." Favre was growing impatient that USM was moving too slowly on the project. In August 2018, New texted Favre, "Wow, just got off the phone with Phil Bryant. He is on board with us. We will get this done." Favre responded, "Awesome. I needed to hear that for sure." According to the state auditor, Bryant was the whistleblower in the welfare scandal, and the former governor has denied New's accusations that he told her to give Favre millions of dollars.
Ross Adams reporting. A Mississippi auditor says Favre was paid for speeches that he never showed up for.
He has repaid some of the money, but reports last showed that Favre still owes more than $200,000. You can read more about the text messages on channel3000.com. Let's get a look now at your certified most accurate weather. Here's meteorologist Chris Reese. Chris?
Yeah, we're looking at a chain of systems really getting ready to roll through, and that's going to lead to an increase in rain chances moving towards the weekend. It will not be anything like what we saw last weekend, but nonetheless, that chance for some rain is there. Already we're starting to see a little bit of cloud cover move in. Fairly thin for us, but you look across parts of Iowa, southern Minnesota, that cloud cover gets quite thick. Then southwestern Minnesota, that's actually where we do see some of those showers and thunderstorms right now. So that being said, our best rain chance, we got to watch Friday night. but the true rain chance is Saturday night and into Sunday moving ahead. That being said, let's go ahead and show you how one of the models begins to play this out. This one Friday night keeps the better rain chances to the north and west across northwestern Wisconsin and parts of Minnesota. Now we're into Saturday afternoon. I can't rule out a stray shower or thunderstorm. Saturday will give you a slight chance for rain, but I do believe that most of us get through Saturday with the ability to stay dry. Here we are now, Saturday night into early Sunday. You see the more widespread rain chances moving into the mix. Then by Sunday afternoon and evening, most of that begins to clear on out of here. Last weekend, we saw about 5 to 10 inches of rain across parts of the state. That won't be the case this time. We're talking about 1/10 to 1/4 inch, maybe upwards of 1/2 inch, with your better rain chances likely being across parts of Illinois in terms of measurable rainfall. So it's comfortable now. Enjoy it. 79, winds are out of the south at 8 miles per hour. Dew points are into the lower 60s, so it's a little bit more muggy. Janesville, you're at 81. Prairie du Chien and Boscobel join you at that temperature. 83 in Lone Rock. You've been one of the warmer spots out there today. 78 in Wautoma. The Dells are at 77. I want to walk you through tonight and tomorrow. This is as you're headed out the door tomorrow morning, 7:30. Temperatures will be into the mid-60s at this point. We will see the sunshine and wind out of the south. So anyone headed to the bus stop at that time tomorrow, you're getting on the road that time tomorrow, no issues. We're going to be just fine. Tomorrow afternoon, same type of deal. You've been headed home from work or headed home from the bus stop. A lot of those temperatures are still comfortable. We'll top out right around 80. The driftless region always just a little bit warmer, 84 to 85 can't be ruled out there. Notice how some of those rain chances start to sneak in overnight into Saturday. Again, these are fairly minor. It's not super widespread, but that chance of rain is there. Saturday, it's the same type of story. I can't rule out a stray shower or thunderstorm. We'll top out closer to 80. Then we get towards Sunday, and that's where you start to see the better shot for the showers and thunderstorms coming our way. Here's the other thing I want to show you. We're actually going to warm up a little bit by Tuesday next week. A surge of warmth comes our way, followed by a strong cold front that really begins to cool things down by the end of next week. Check this out. We go from 70s to around 80 this weekend. 84 on Tuesday. Some of the models went as high as 87 to 88 on Tuesday. We'll see. I'm going to aim on the cooler side for now. But notice from 84 to 79 on Wednesday as a cold front comes through. 69 on Thursday, then lower 60s by next weekend. Get this, there are no rain chances next weekend, at least not right now. Fingers crossed that we hold on to that. I'm also watching traffic for you all so far. John Nolan at the Beltline. Things are all smooth. The only areas where we're seeing your common brake lights, that would include really John Nolan and Stoughton Road, 51. That's where we're seeing your standard brake lights, but no major issues are showing up for us. Janesville, Rock County, Beloit, you're looking good as well.
Chris, thank you. The Ho-Chunk Nation's flag is now flying high over Bascom Hill at UW-Madison.
Hey, Kayana, hey, Kayana,
During today's ceremony, new UW Chancellor Jennifer Mnuchin said the display reaffirms the university's commitment to enhance relations with the tribe. Marlon White Eagle, president of Ho-Chunk Nation, also says it provides a chance to teach others about those who once lived on the land currently home to the UW and the city of Madison. The flag is also set to fly over Bascom Hall for a week beginning next month for Indigenous Peoples Day, and then for the full month of November when the university celebrates Native November. Just ahead, if you're having trouble sleeping, you're not alone. 70 million Americans are struggling with it. What mistakes you may be making? That's next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Discovering the perfect paint for your home has never been easier with Zinsser Smart Coat. Plan smart with interactive tools at smartcoat.com. Buy smart in-store or online for home delivery. And paint smart with this advanced paint and primer in one. Say hello to Zinsser Smart Coat, the next generation of intelligent paint. 11% off at Menards.
Like an eagle protects his head.
We all need a rock we can rely on. To be strong. To overcome anything. To be unstoppable. That's why millions rely on the strength and financial guidance of Prudential to achieve their dreams. Who's your rock?
Migraine attacks? You can't always avoid triggers like stress. Qulipta can help prevent migraine attacks. You can't prevent what's going on outside. That's why Qulipta helps what's going on inside. Qulipta is a pill, gets right to work to prevent migraine attacks and keeps them away over time. Qulipta blocks CGRP, a protein believed to be a cause of migraine attacks. Qulipta is a preventive treatment for episodic migraine. Most common side effects are nausea, constipation, and tiredness. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Qulipta.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me, Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Raising healthy children takes a village, and kids thrive when their village is healthy too.
SSM Health and News 3 Now are helping you unlock a healthier world with our Time for Kids Keys to Health campaign. We'll show you how sustainable choices create healthier lifestyles, explore the impacts of food security on families,
and share ways we can help build a healthy community together. So join us on air, online, and in your village.
And take time for kids.
Look, we knew the other side would make up lies about me to scare you. Now they're claiming I want to defund the police and abolish ICE. That's a lie. I'll make sure our police have the resources and training they need to keep our communities safe. And that our communities have the resources to stop crime before it happens. I'll bring back manufacturing. And I'll pass a middle-class tax cut. And if that's too scary for Washington, then so be it. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
The CDC says about 70 million Americans suffer from chronic sleep problems, and it's gotten worse in recent years. Between 2018 and 2021, there was a 29% increase in referrals to the Center for Insomnia at Ohio State's Wexner Medical Center. Experts say don't go to bed too early. That could leave you tossing and turning all night. Try to go to bed and get up at the same time every day, and don't sleep in several hours later on the weekends.
Because then we're giving ourselves what we call social jet lag. It's no different from flying from New York to California for the weekend and then giving ourselves jet lag when we come back. So trying to be really consistent to keep that circadian clock in line.
She says try to get natural sunlight as much as possible during daytime. Keep your room cool and dark. Alcohol can actually make your sleep more fragmented. And if you do have sleep issues for months, you should talk to your primary care provider about it.
Australian researchers say new research suggests that people should get in those 10,000 steps a day and also pick up the pace. New studies looked at nearly 80,000 adults with wearable fitness trackers, and those getting in that many steps had a lower risk of dementia, heart disease, cancer, and death. But a faster pace, such as power walking, had benefits over and above the daily steps goal. More studies are needed, but researchers say their findings could lead to physical activity guidelines based on steps to prevent chronic diseases. And stay with us for a final check of your First Warn forecast when we return.
Ashley's Fall Scratch-Off promotion is happening now. Come in now for your scratch card that could be worth up to $5,000. Plus, get 78% off clearance items. Plus, 60-month special financing. Plus, doorbuster deals. Plus, fast delivery. Don't miss these savings. Ashley.
The 2023 Ford F-150 trucks are coming, meaning more ways to haul, tow, go, and do, and with more ways than ever to make it your own. Plus, if you order now, you'll lock in your price and lock in your rate. Do more in a 2023 Ford F-150. Custom order yours today. Lock in 2.9 for $60 and get $500 retail order bonus cash when you order a Ford F-150. Only at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know it needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
My mommy and daddy took me home and got me insurance from Physicians Mutual. One day it was like, Mom, watch me. I'm so fast. Super fast. Then I jumped. I like to jump. Then I was on a big thing. I jumped off it. Then I got an owie. I had to go to the doctor, see? And Mommy and Daddy didn't get big bill. Tell your mommy about
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Look, it's a Dupaco. We're not a bird or a plane. We are a mighty credit union, born of thrift and laser focused on the interests of our members. Harnessing the combined power of more than 144,000 members and businesses, we work to put money back where it belongs, into your community and into your pocket, working tirelessly to help you pursue your dreams. Isn't that super? Join the movement at dupaco.com/super. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity.
First, we found out that radical Tim Michael supports Wisconsin's 1849 abortion ban.
But you wouldn't support exceptions for rape or incest?
That's correct. Now we found out his foundation funds a group working to outlaw birth control and ban abortion, even to save the life of the mother. And his family foundation funds a group that uses cell phone data to track women if they go to abortion centers. Vote no on radical Tim Michaels.
It's Furniture and Appliance Mart's scratch-off promotion. Come in for your scratch card, worth up to $5,000. Plus, buy any LG washer and get the dryer free. Plus, 60-month special financing. Plus, fast delivery. At Furniture and Appliance Mart, inside Ashley off the Beltline in East Springs Drive.
Chris is back with a final check.
Yeah, pretty good night in store for us tonight. We're going to cool down into the 60s. Partly cloudy skies, not too shabby. We'll see more sunshine tomorrow as well. Temperatures top out right around 80 for tomorrow. So enjoy that. Rain chances do arrive moving into the weekend. And then we are cooling off by the end of next week.
All right, CBS Evening News coming your way next. We're back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.